U.S. Cellular starting pitcher. He's looking for his 9th win, ERA a tick over 3, and he's the Sox lone all-star. Game conditions 67 degrees, 69% humidity. The wind is a factor east, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and it is cloudy. By the plate, Jeff Nelson, Mark Carlson at first, Tim Sheeta at second, Bob Davidson at third. And it's 7-11, and it's time for the first pitch. Tonight's game time start is presented by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And with that, I'll turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet as the first pitch of the ball game from the 30-year-old southpaw. Taken for a strike by Asdrubal Cabrera. Indians come in at 33-50, hitting at .261 as a club. There's a nice little three-hopper. Nix has got him. Cabrera, 1 out.
And before the game today, they were working out a lot of the infielders, primarily Nix, Ramirez, and Beckham at third, going over a few different things, a few tricks of the trade imparted by Joey Korup. Certainly knows his business, and of course Ozzie was as good a shortstop as there was during his era.
Here's Grady Sizemore. Takes high off the plate. Grady at .231, 11 homers. He's driven in 44. This is the 10th meeting of the year between these two teams. In the first 9, Sox have won 5 of them. Indians come in at 14-25 on the road, while they are 19-25 at home. Here's a strike, and the count 2-1.
There's no doubt that Sizemore, although he's still a devastating hitter, has had a lot of elbow problems, and it has to bother him both in the field and at bat.
Three and 1 to count. Sizemore last year hit .268, 33 homers, and drove in 90. It is 1-0 Cleveland. Burley just looks in and says, "Give me another one." That's his 4th career homer off Burley.
#12th home run hit by Sizemore. He's now driven in 45. And the 10th career home run against the Sox. So the Ford home run replay. Mark throws one up and out over the plate, and Sizemore gets most of it.
Here's the switch-hitting catcher, Victor Martinez. Victor at .303, 14 homers, and 57 knocked in. That pitch off the plate. Martinez 19 for 53 lifetime against Burley with 3 homers. And the count 2-0.
Martinez this year has been a better hitter left-handed, but he's got some pop right-handed.
Outfield for the most part straight up, about equidistant. There's the strike, and the count evens at 2. One hopper. And that's out number 2. Well, as Steve told you in the opening, Mark 9-13 career against the Tribe. He's won 23 against the Twins. He's won 20 against Kansas City, but Cleveland has really given him a tough time, and that's the way it goes in this game.
You have a lot of hitters that seemingly are bunched together that get a real good look at you. And usually when there's a trade for a guy you can't handle from another team, he winds up in Cleveland where you can't handle him still.
Chu fouls that one down, and very quickly to count 0-2. Shin-Soo Choo, 26 years old, hitting at .301, 12 homers. He's driven in 53. Had a big night a few nights ago. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. The 1-2. Right at Jermaine Dye. Comes on now. Makes the catch. That's a hang wiffle. But the long home run by Grady Sizemore after having a play. It's a tried one, and the good guys coming to bat.
Dye, Jim Thome, Paul Konerko, A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate, Jason Nix, Gordon Beckham, and Brian Anderson in center field and hitting ninth. The Lowe's defensive setup behind Sowers, Francisco, Sizemore, and Chu left to right. Peralta, Cabrera, Carroll, and Garco in the infield. Victor Martinez behind the plate. And our U.S. Cellular starting pitcher, Jeremy Sowers. Lifetime 0-5 against the Sox. They faced him in Cleveland. They roughed him up. 11 hits in 6 innings. Gave up 5 earned runs. And in that outing, he didn't throw too many off-speed pitches. We'll see if he makes the adjustment.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Is that pitch up high to Scotty Pods, hitting at 311. 3 homers. He's driven in 21. Sox come in at 42 and 40. 2 games back of the Tigers. That is slap foul. Sox hitting at 260 as a club with a very fine 3.97 ERA. Sox home record 20 up and 20 down. Peralta in on the grass at third. And he bunts it. Powers. Easy play. 1 out. One down to Alexei Ramirez at 273, 10 homers. He's driven in 40. And here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap stand, 400 straightaway center.
And reaching base in 20 straight games is a terrific accomplishment for a guy that doesn't walk very much.
First pitch strike. He did not like the call. And the count 0-2. Outfield straight up for Alexei. That ball hit deep. Stay fair. Stay fair. Nope.
Sowers,
right size, wrong shape.
Sowers threw that. It's not really a slider or a curveball. It's kind of a slurve, and he threw it what he thought was going to be low and in. Ramirez able to drop the head of the bat on it. Unfortunately, a little too quickly.
So once again, the 0-2 pitch. 2 down. And with 2 out, let's check out our Heineken picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our Hall of Fame director and crew. Well, they went with Gordon Beckham. And Lisa, Larry, and Steve, they're going to go with Big Jim Thome. And Steve Flanagan. Lifetime Sox fan, 25-year plus season ticket holder who's in Rush Hospital. Under weather right now, but Steve, we're looking forward to a speedy recovery for you, buddy. And we'll see you at the ballpark, along with your son, who just turned 18 today, Steve Flanagan. Jermaine, 291, 20 homers, 51 driven in. And the count 1-1. Souvenir right side. Ball and 2 strikes.
Normally Sowers throws a fastball that tops out about 90-91. He'll throw a straight change occasionally. He does have that slurve we were talking about. But has a tendency to fall in love with his fastball, and when he throws it too often, that's when he gets hurt.
That's what did him in Cleveland. There, pretty good breaking ball. Hit him on the fist, pops him up, Garco over. He's got room. He's there, makes the catch. And that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Sowers after 1. It is 1-0 Tribe.
Average at 288. That'll usually get it done, as will the 5.7 runs per game. They've hit the ball out of the ballpark. Starting pitching and most of the bullpen has been just terrific, with opponents hitting just 230. That's how you put together a good solid streak, and that's what the Sox are doing.
Johnny Peralta. First ball hunting, and that's just foul. Just foul.
We've talked about it before. If you're going to pitch Peralta inside, and Mark loves that cut fastball, then you have to play over toward the line, because the left side of the infield is going to get a lot of work, especially if Mark has a good cutter on any given evening.
And there's another one. Well, again, we talked about it in Kansas City. Gordon's going to have to start checking Posednik in left field. Now, where Pides is playing right now, unless the ball is scalded, he can play a little bit off the line, because Peralta is certainly no speed demon. Is that ball up high?
Well, you've got
those are the little nuances, you know, that you've got to learn playing at third base, and he's just been over there just a short period of time. He did not go. But you're right, as a third baseman or a corner, first baseman, if I've got a right-handed Mark Burley out there and I'm playing first, or in this case left-handed Mark Burley out there and he's playing third, that ball hit hard into center field. Brian got a good jump, but can he get there? No. So the leadoff double. But it would be a luxury to know when the off-speed or the cutter inside was coming from either one, right-handed or left-handed.
Well, there's a lot of shortstops in this game that will give the third baseman the sign. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. That's a high changeup. It's out over the plate. And Peralta crushes it, just barely staying in the ballpark. And now that he's become the everyday third baseman with the departure of Mark DeRosa, the Indians believe that that offense will start to come up drastically.
Here is Hafner. Well, in some ways, that's getting to be a lost art. Shortstop giving the third baseman the sign, second baseman giving the first baseman the sign. Where in years past, it was commonplace. As that'll get the job done on the two-hopper to Nix, so Hafner is retired.
I just think, Hawk, you have to take advantage of every situation you can because the talent pools of most of these teams are so close that it could be as much as one step closer to the line, the difference between a 5-3 put out and a double. And that might be the single difference in the game.
There's no question about it. There's absolutely no doubt about it. That's the way it should be in Huey Lewis's perfect world.
Yes. Right.
Here's Garco at 265, 8 homers, 32 knocked in. I think that if I were a pitcher today and you could talk to your shortstop or talk to your second baseman and not have a language barrier in there, that I would tell him before the game, look, when you see the cutter sign in or the changeup sign, let him know. Let him know. And as you said, there are various ways to do it. That's foul straight back. Garco, 11 for 22 lifetime off Burley.
And
500.
I asked him if he ever looked for the breaking ball. And he said never. He said, because if I ever took a fastball down the middle looking for a breaking ball, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself.
Infield halfway at second and short.
Well, they realize they don't have to play all that far in for the simple reason that Peralta doesn't have good speed. Now, if that was Sizemore at third, you'd have to play in a little closer.
And that's trouble. No. Good jump right there by Jason. Makes the catch. And that's out number 2.
When you're a second baseman, you catch the ball on the third base side of second, you're doing it. No chance for Ramirez. The only angle is Nix. He makes the play, looks immediately at Peralta, and makes sure that he stays right where he is, 90 feet away from the second run of the ball game.
Yeah, playing is very ambiguous, as we discussed in Kansas City, when you've got whoever at third base. If he's quick, you're in. If he is average speed, then you're a step or two back of that. If he's a Peralta, then you're a step or two back of that.
Well, Jamie Carroll, who's always had good luck against the Sox, normally hits the ball to right center field, but the Sox are playing him straight up.
That ball is hammered. Right to Pods, yes. So the leadoff double by Peralta, and Mark pitches over it after an inning and a half. It is still 1-0 Cleveland.
a group of 20 or more fans. Whether it's a warning track, fan deck, or individual game diamond suites, are all available. Book a group outing or party area today by calling 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Jim Thome, Paul Konerko, and A.J. Pierzynski here in the bottom of the second inning.
Thome's always had good luck against Sowers. He had very good luck in Cleveland, and we will show it to you after this pitch.
Jimmy at .251, 13 homers, and 43 knocked in.
In Cleveland, wearing the grays. Thome gets a fastball out over the plate, takes it out in center field, and then takes one out in right center field.
And takes strike two. So 0-2 the count. Once again, if you're just tuning in, Sox have acquired right-handed pitcher Tony Pena from D-backs in exchange for minor league infielder Brandon Allen. So Pena must be all right because Brandon Allen is a good-looking prospect.
Pena's got a pretty good arm, and at 27 years old, you got to figure that he's going to be used as a setup man, maybe a sixth-inning guy, to complement what Sox already have in Dotel and Linebrink in that capacity.
That's out of play. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. And the 1-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it. And Brandon Allen, of course, left-handed hitting first baseman. He was hitting a combined .282 with 16 doubles, 8 homers, and 43 RBIs in 62 games with Birmingham and Charlotte.
Well, Chad Tracy is not getting the job done for the Diamondbacks, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they feel comfortable with Brandon Allen in their future.
Count hangs at a ball and 2 strikes to big Jim Thome.
Paul Konerko on deck, waiting for an opportunity. He'd rather have it with Sowers in the stretch.
Breaking ball. Easy play for Sowers. And that's out number 1.
We've already seen an adjustment from the last time we saw Sowers, and that he's throwing many more breaking balls and off-speed pitches, and you have to make that kind of adjustment.
Well, he's already thrown more in an inning and a third than he did in the whole 6 innings he worked. Here's Paulie. Paulie at .295, 13 long ones. He's driven in a half a hundred. He's had some problems with Sowers, though, just 2 for 11. Sowers former #1 pick for the Tribe. And the count 2-0. Ball hit high and deep in the left center field. Stretch. Sidemore back. He jumps. You can put it on the board. Yes. This game is tied at 1.
Ball got that one up in the air, and Sowers made a mistake with what appeared to be a fastball. Our forward home run replay. The 34th home run hit by Paul Konerko against the Indians. I don't know if that was a cutter, but it stayed up. And Paul hit it just far enough. Good effort by Sizemore, but to no avail.
So here's A.J. Yeah, time is called. And, of course, with that home run by Konerko, the Alex Nelius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 98, So $9,800 donated by Alex Snellius in loving memory of Ursula. There's a shot into center field for a base hit.
Well, not only was Sowers a first-round draft pick, but he was a very high first-round draft pick. He was the 6th player chosen overall, 2004 free agent draft. Things have not worked out for him very well coming into this year, where he's 2-6. He was 12-19 in the major leagues, so he's had a hard time, and he's 27 years old. If it's going to come to him, it better come to him quickly.
So here's Jason Nix. Takes it low and inside. Just got a piece of it. Jason is 2 for 8 with a homer against Sowers.
And there's a look at the man that tied up the ball game, Paul Konerko. Tied now with Jermaine Dye for the team lead and runs batted in.
Should be. Back him up, but the home run by Paul Konerko. And it is tied at 1. And a couple of southpaws on the bump tonight.
Well, Mark Burley is going for win number 9. He's the all-star, and he's throwing the ball exceptionally well.
First pitch strike to Ben Francisco, hitting at 246. 6 homers. He's driven in 25. Breaking ball low.
And line score is exactly the same at 1, 2, and 0 for both teams.
Big hack, no contact. Now Beckham backs up about 8 or 9 steps. Alexei can't get there. Playing him to pull. A little soft ground ball back through the middle.
they were playing him as a dead pull hitter, but that cutter didn't get inside on Francisco, so he took it back up the middle. No chance for Ramirez. Now a chance to double up Cabrera, who's grounded into 6 of them this year.
He grounded out to Jason Nix to lead off the ball game. Francisco is a man you got to put an eyeball on. He has attempted 13 stolen bases, and he has been successful 12 times. First pitch strike to Asdrubal Cabrera. Beautiful evening here in the beautiful city. Checks it up, takes it high, and the count evens at 1. And big shout out to Kelly Lamont. He did a terrific job on our national anthem prior to the game.
She's got a great voice. Cabrera came over from Seattle in one of the many deals that Mark Shapiro made.
They got him picked off with a good throw. Grabs some bench. He gone.
Mark Burley has one of the best moves in baseball. And going on first move, Francisco is hung out to dry, and you always expect that Paul will get a good angle on the throw. This time, no exception.
As that ball hit into center field. And that is out number 2.
That's a big pickoff heading to the top of the order with nobody out and leadoff man on.
So here's Sizemore. Cranked out his 12th homer, a long drive in the first inning. And he takes first pitch strike. A little bit of an arm angle change on a sweeper. Misses in the count 1-1. Out in front.
Sizemore likes to hit leadoff. However, he does strike out a whole lot. This year's 61 strikeouts and 247 at bats.
Just got a piece of that. So the count hangs at 1-2 for the 26-year-old center fielder. Another little drop down by Mark. Outfield around to the right. Bit of a gap out there in left center. Nix back on the grass at second. As that curveball popped up left side. Alexei drifting underneath it. Makes the catch. And that'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 1.
by Toshiba.
It's a 1-1 tie here at beautiful USA LaField in the first of this brief 3-game homestand. Tomorrow evening, Jose Contreras against Aaron Laffey. So make your plans to be with us. Then on Thursday afternoon, in the finale, Clayton Richard against David Huff. So we're going to be seeing 3 left-handers in this series. 26-year-old Jeremy Sowers gets ready to pitch to Gordon Beckham, hitting at .263, 3 homers. He's driven in 16. Big hack. Gordon has faced Sowers 3 times, has a couple of hits. Outfield straight up.
Remember in Cleveland, he took the ball right down the third baseline. With that in mind, Peralta is very close to the line, but there's a big hole on the left side between Peralta and Cabrera.
That's a good eye, taken nicely down low. And the count's 3-1.
When you were swinging well, Hawk, did you take pitches that were that close, knowing they were out of the zone?
Yeah.
But you have to be swinging well or seeing the ball well to do that.
Seeing it well. Yeah. I tell you what, it's amazing because that's out of play. When you're seeing the ball well, it's amazing. I'm not saying easy, but it's not difficult to hit major league pitching. As opposed, but unfortunately, you don't see it well very often.
Yeah, unless you're Tony Gwynn or Rod Carew.
That's exactly right.
Albert Pujols. It doesn't last that long.
Right. For me, it did not. It has ball 4, but on the opposite side of that page, when you're not seeing it well, it's almost impossible to hit it.
I remember when Gordon came to you after a spring training game, he was tearing up spring training pretty well. And all of a sudden, he went through a period of a couple of days where he couldn't seem to see the ball. You talked with him for about an hour. What were you talking to him about?
Just about nothing about mechanics at all. There's a kid right there who knows what he's doing. He's going to be a hell of a player. Just leave him alone. Let him go. Let him find out. You know, you just can't come out of Georgia last year at this time and burn it up in the big leagues. I was just telling him, I don't care, Gordon, if you go 0 for 4. I don't care if you strike out 3 or 4 times. You find something positive in every at-bat. In every at-bat, you find something positive. And you can do that. You can do that. And what it does is it keeps you from having pity parties. It keeps you aggressive. When you can find something positive in an 0 for 4 with 3 or 4 strikeouts, then you come more ready to play and hit the next day. That was some of the best advice that Ted Williams ever gave me. He said, you find something positive in every at-bat. I don't care what you did. I don't care if you hit a home run. I don't care if you hit a soft ground ball back to the pitcher. I don't care if you took 3 strikes right down the middle. You find something positive in it.
It seems like Gordon Beckham has taken your advice because he's getting better and better.
Big hack on the off speed.
Now Sowers doesn't appear to have a good move to first base because he throws that little lazy throw over there. But we saw him pick a guy off first base in Cleveland with a better move than he's shown so far. So certainly Beckham has got to be careful with it.
Checks it up, fouls it down. Well, Gordon is very strong-minded. That's why he was so successful. Last year, hitting 28 home runs, tied for the lead in Division I NCAA baseball. That's why he was the #1 pick. And when you get a young man who's that strong-minded, he'll find his way. You don't need to grab him by the hand and lead him down the yellow brick road.
He's just 1 out of 4 in stolen bases. He will eventually be a much better base stealer.
One and 2. Our Sox fans are going to have a lot of fun watching Beckham.
Well, there's no doubt.
Ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Brian 1 for 9 lifetime off Sowers. And the 1-2 pitch. He's going to have to get a new piece of wood right there. Outfield on this 1-2 count, shaded to the right. Chu in about a step or two shorter than normal. And there's a ground ball, perfect bowling bounce right there as Jamie Carroll lost it on the transfer. He definitely had control, so they forced Beckham 1 down. Good call by Tim Cheetah.
This looks like a tailor-made too when it leaves the bat. And it should have been. But Carroll trying to rush his throw with Beckham bearing down on him. And Beckham goes in hard. That's a good takeout slide, but Carroll had already dropped the baseball.
So one of the few times that, against us at least, Jamie Carroll does not execute, and here is Scotty Pides. Tried to bunt and did not make a good bunt. Almost right back to Sowers. Outfield around to the left. Peralta on the grass, and there's a little shank, and that's going to be a base hit. Ryan will have to pull up. So 1 out, 2 on, and that'll bring up Alexei.
With a play in front of him, there's no chance at all for Brian Anderson to go to third base. This ball is just inside outed. Pod sneaking up on it, as he has done on many an occasion. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, but gets enough of it to get it by Cabrera, who is shading him up the middle.
What that little action right there does for Pods is it makes him make consistent contact. And he said something that was very profound the other day in Kansas City. I think it was you that brought it up to me, as a matter of fact, before the game, which I did not see. He said he's having fun out there playing. He's playing games within the game. And when you can do that, as that's fouled back, when you are a Major League Baseball player and you can start playing games within the game, you're probably going to be doing pretty well.
Well, he feels that in running up on the pitch, his hands get looser, and it's easier for him to come through and hit the ball hard instead of sometimes grabbing the sawdust out of the bat. You can't really do that if you're going to come up on it.
He's making no mechanics.
Right.
He's got his focal point on something else as you take another look at it right here.
Comes up a step and a half. And usually when he's done that this year, good things have happened.
I mean, we got a guy standing out there at second base that I'd love to see try that. Love it. I mean, as that ball hit deep into right field, too, got a good jump. He's back. Right in front of the track. And that's out number 2.
Well, Chu is a pretty solid outfielder, and he has the best arm in that outfield. See the jump he gets. You can't see it fully there, but in position as he hits the warning track. And then when he looks up, he realizes that Anderson was about halfway, so he wasn't going to tag, and he just got the ball back in.
So here's Jermaine. He fouled out to Garco. And when I say I'd love to see Brian try that, it's not that he would have a steady diet of it. It's just to give it a shot and see how easy it is to make, easier to make contact. Jermaine does not like that call.
I don't think Jermaine can believe it. Jeff Nelson is telling Ozzie it was belt high because he was motioning to his belt. That's a pretty high belt.
Well, we have a new name for JD now. High pockets.
Yes, I'm not sure if he can get them quite that high, and Ozzie's going, I didn't say anything.
Well, there is quite a difference in 2-0 and 1-1 in this situation. Now, instead of 2-1, it's 1-2. An advantage. Sowers. Pretty good pitch hit right there underneath it.
That was a straight change that was missing from the arsenal of Sowers in Cleveland. Tonight he's breaking everything out of the bag. The straight change, the curveball. And that time he had Jermaine just out in front of it a touch.
Yeah, that's dangerous location right there for that pitch.
Well, I always found when you face a team twice in 8 to 10 days, you better make an adjustment over that first time around.
And that breaking ball down and in, 2-2. So 2 out, 2 on, 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the third. 1-3-0 for both clubs.
The Yankees are helping us out, beating Minnesota 3-0. And CC Sabathia, the big fellow on the mound for the Yankees.
And a full count with Tommy on deck.
Big advantage here in that both runners are going to be going. So you don't even need a long double to score Scott from first base. Yarko's going to give him all kinds of room. And Sizemore over a shade to right center field, which is somewhat surprising.
And the payoff pitch. Jermaine just frustrated in that bat right there. Just drops the bat. And that'll do it. We'll go to the fourth, tied at 1. and Peralta to face Mark Burley. Martinez grounded out to Ramirez. Fakes the bunt, takes the strike. And the count 0-2. Martinez lays off of it. Victor, 30 years old. Now 19 for 54 lifetime of Burley. That's a piece of cake right there for Beckham.
And here's our Aflac trivia question as the duck waddles by. Who's the only White Sox player in club history to hit 3 home runs in a game twice?
So here is Chu. He lined out hard to Jermaine Dye.
And more times than not, he is going to make good solid contact. You just have to hope that it goes at somebody.
That's into center field deep. By him. So the 1-out double, the 17th two-bagger.
This will turn out to be one of the better trades that Cleveland made. That's getting Chu from Seattle. He's hitting over 300, 12 and 53 on the power numbers, and he doesn't seem to get fooled too often.
Well, he's going to get better. He's just 26. He's going to get better. He's got one of the quietest bats. The head of his bat is just about as quiet as it can get.
Well,
makes no noise up there.
Him getting too much better is a scary thought, because right now he's hitting the ball awfully hard.
Oh, he's got. Believe me, he's got a lot more room for upside. From what we've seen of Chu, he has the tendency sometimes to get himself out. Now, when you get a guy like that, and he sort of solves that with experience, at that point he becomes a monster. It's just like that second half of the season that Albert Bell had for us here. That's as good a half as you'll ever see. You couldn't get him out. He could get himself out, but you couldn't get him out. And Big Frank, he's had years here where, especially in his first 8, it was difficult for pitchers to get him out. Now he would get himself out because of his thinking. It was not real good, but then he got it back on track again, and then
forget it.
The numbers were right there. Peralta just hooks that one using a lot of top hand.
Mark's going to have to keep a close eye on Chu at second base. He's one of their best, if not the best, base runner. 13 for 13 in stolen bases.
Well, between he and Francisco, they are now 25 for 27. And that's popped up. Beckham comes on. Now A.J. takes charge. A.J. saw Beckham look at him, and then that's when A.J. said, "I'll take it."
Difficult play for the catcher. But A.J. knows a whole lot more about these wins than Gordon Beckham knows. And Gordon was drifting with it. A.J. said, "Look, I'm a little taller, and I've been around here a lot longer, so I'll take it."
So here's Hafner. Grounded out to Nix at second, but that got the job done because Peralta had led off the second with a double. Just off the outside corner. That ball could have caught the front corner. And the count 1-0. That breaking pitch is a strike, 1-1. There's a base hit. Hyde's coming on. He turns it loose. It's off the mark. They cut it. They go to second. They're going to get him. But 2 scores. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, trailing 2-1.
History to hit 3 home runs in a game twice. And the answer, Harold Baines. 7-7-82 against Detroit. 9-17-84 against Minnesota. It's quite an accomplishment.
So here's Tomey. Breaking ball, hangs high and inside.
Jimmy gets out of the way. That curveball just misses his right arm.
And that's fouled back.
When you've had the luck that Jim has had against any given pitcher, you just don't want to get hit by a pitch and wind up at first. You just as soon take your chances by swinging away.
Breaking ball, Nevin grabs the strike. And that's outside. Oh, Harold. 3 home runs in the game twice. Saw both of those. He was something. What a good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitter.
Former first-round draft choice of the White Sox.
And a full count to Big Jim. All 4 base hit right here, big man. Konerko on deck. Foul tip hung on to by Martinez.
Enjoy Mullet Night and post-game fireworks presented by Great Clips when the White Sox face the Orioles Friday, July 17th at 7-Eleven. For game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. And remember, it's Mullet Night.
So here's Paulie. Cranked out his 14th. back in the second. And if you miss that home run, poof.
Sowers tried to get a fastball by him on the inner portion. Sidemore makes the big leap, but it's not enough.
Oh, hit hard. Carroll.
This Indians defense is a whole lot better with Cabrera at shortstop because he has much more range than Peralta. And Peralta is just learning the intricacies of the third base position. That's where he'll be from now on.
Well, that's really where the Indians, after the first year he was there, wanted to put him, but they didn't have anybody else to play short. I think once Peralta settles in over third, two things are going to happen. Because he's just 26 years old. He's going to settle in over there, grow a lot of confidence, as that's fouled away by AJ. And at that point, I think his offense is going to take off.
Well, there's no doubt that he's as strong as most of the guys on the team. Maybe Hafner consistently will hit the ball farther, but what Cabrera has is his ability to drive the ball to right center field. You don't find a lot of right-handers that can hit it out of the park that way, as well as hit it out of the park in left or left center.
As he calls AJ out, he thought it was outside. Has a couple of words right there. And we're into the fifth. It is 2-1 Indians. Order: Garco, Carroll, and Francisco. As first pitch, Garco, who looped out to Nix at second, now 1 for 2.
When you're hitting close to 500 against anybody, especially a guy as good as Mark Burley, you go up there with a lot of confidence. He was looking for a small fastball, drove it through the left side. And now a world of possibilities with Carroll because he's such a good handler of the bat.
Greg Wedge can really play it any way he wants to because of the contact. He lined hard to Posednik his first trip. You know, going back to Pod's games inside the game, did you ever play any games inside the game as you had more experience? Or were you more or less just out there concentrating?
I had a pretty good idea what I wanted to do with each and every hitter because I went over each and every hitter 3 times in my mind in sequence before the game. Sit back, get a quiet spot, and go through the entire lineup and get them out 27 up, 27 down. So many times, Hawk, as I learned the aspect of the mental part of competition, I found that if I could do that, I had a better picture of what I wanted the sequence to a hitter to look like. And it worked very well. So I stayed with it.
You don't see that very often, especially in this situation. 1 out. But, you know, going back to it as you look at the strikeout again, by doing that, you were not thinking about where your arm angle was or anything else. You were thinking about getting somebody out, which you had already done in your mind.
And I saw 2 or 3 or 4 pitches, whatever it was, and I watched how he reacted to the pitches, and it always ended in me retiring the hitter. Now, obviously, that's unrealistic, but if you've seen it ahead of time and you can visualize it when you go out there and try to do it, you're probably a couple of steps up on the guys that don't do anything from the mental aspect.
You know, the best guy I ever talked to about it, playing games inside, because the last 2 years I had before I broke down, I was playing games inside the game against every pitcher. You play your own game with them. But the best guy I've ever talked to about it was a guy we had here for a few years. And we talked about it on the golf course one day, and that was Michael Jordan. Michael said he used to do that all the time. He said that was one of the ways that he motivated himself. Because there's a bunt, and it's going to go foul. And it's not unusual. A lot of the athletes that I've talked to. Give you an example. Big Frank sees somebody in the National League hit 2 home runs and drive in 6. It's not unusual for him to come to the park the next day knowing he was a better hitter than this guy and letting that motivate him. Michael having somebody score 45. Michael knows he's a better player. Michael goes out and scores 49. Always trying to find ways to keep your mind rejuvenated and motivated.
Well, look, it's a long year, and you know that there's going to be days when you go out there and you just don't feel good. I mean, you see it now just in day-to-day living. You have some other days where you're a little sharper than others. Physically, some days you're terrific. Other days you're not quite as good. But you don't have the luxury as a pitcher of pitching on only the days you feel good. You've got to pitch on all the days.
That's up high. Full count. Francisco did a little soft single, ground ball. They were playing him as a dead pull hitter, and he hit it back up the middle. Turns that one over, fouls it away. Another guy I played with that really was good at those mind games was Pete Rose.
The one thing that Pete said, which made a lot of sense, was that he never had a wasted at bat. If he was 4 for 4, he would go up there grinding to go 5 for 5.
The ball's hit hard but foul.
But Hawk, my feeling has always been guys will tell you this game is 75% mental. And back in 1978, I went to talk with Roland Heeman, then the general manager, and I said, if this game is 75% mental, why do we have 3 or 4 physical coaches for 25% of the game and no mental coaches for 75% of the game?
As that's ball 4, so 2 out. Check that, 1 out, 2 on.
And at that time, Roland couldn't answer it. I'm not sure that a lot of people could answer it now, because you take so much preparation on the physical aspect of the game and realizing that 8% of the people in this league have the same talent.
Well, I think it's more than 75%. I think it's probably closer to 90%. I'm talking about if you have the talent to be in the big leagues. I really believe it. And I think that baseball really, among other sports, is maybe equal to basketball in this area that we're talking about, maybe equal to football, but certainly in golf, way behind golf, way behind tennis, as far as having a psychological coach, so to speak.
Well, they're trying it in baseball with sports psychologists, and you see a lot of guys that talk with them. And that's really the first step, because I'm not sure how much bigger or stronger as a species we're going to get. But I do know there's a tremendous amount of upside in refining the mental processes of going out there to concentrate and compete. Guys will have great concentration, they'll lose it, they don't know how to get it back again. And it's up to somebody to tell them there are tricks for you to get concentration back again.
Right, 2, Gordon up with it, and hey, wrap him up. Okay, Nix can get it over there in a hurry. And that'll do it. We're halfway home. We trail it 2-1. Gets set to lead it off. 2-6-0 for the Indians, 1-3-0 for our Sox. In Stone Pony, we're seeing a different Jeremy Sowers than we saw the other day in Cleveland.
He's changing speeds very well. He's also changing the levels on his fastball.
He was 95% fastballs in his outing against us in Cleveland.
And that's why he gave up 11 hits in 6 innings with 5 earned runs. But this guy changing speeds, throwing the curveball, and doing a lot of good things is a whole lot better. Now, that doesn't mean that he can't make a mistake and Nix can hit it out of the ballpark, because if you throw one middle in, he's got a good chance of doing that.
Well, Jason hit the ball very hard his first time up. Unfortunately, it was right at Cabrera, who turned it into a 6-3 double play. That's not hit very hard.
He got inside, shattered his bat. And not much Nix could do with that one.
So 1 out. And that'll bring up Gordon Beckham, who walked. And that's in the center field. Hey, he misjudged it. Here he comes back, though. He recovers. Sizemore broke 5 or 6 steps back.
Well, Sizemore has makeup speed, because he really misjudges this ball. He goes back 4 or 5 steps before finally going, uh-oh, I better come and get it. And he was able to do just that.
You know, don't see Grady Sizemore do that very often.
No, that was no read at all.
You have to get him some knee pads if he's going to play like that. As Brian fouls first pitch away. And the count 0-2. Pulls the string on him right there. Towers 6'1", 180 pounds, out of Leesburg, Virginia. Ball and 2 strikes. Scotty Pod's on deck. 2 home runs in the ball game. One by Sizemore in the first, one by Konerko in the second. And that's low. So we'll have this short 3-game homestand here with the Tribe. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we will be at the Humphrey Dome. The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
Where the Minnesotas will await.
We're going to run Danks, Floyd, and Burley against them. As Sowers takes his time, gets him by half a step. And a quick 1-2-3, and that's 8 in a row retired by Sowers.
Enjoy the game from the warning track area. Call 312-674-1000 to book your warning track party today, or visit whitesox.com for more details.
2-1 Indians. Grady Sizemore, Victor Martinez, and Shin Soo Choo. 3 pretty good hitters right here. Grady 1 for 2, that long home run. And that's right down to Beckham, right at him. Oh, atom ball. And we were talking about who we were going to run out there against the Twins. There you see 2 more against Cleveland, where Contreras and Richard are going to go against Laffey and Huff. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to run Danks, Floyd, and Burley. They're going to run Liriano, Blackburn, and Baker as you check out our Felco upcoming schedule. Martinez is grounded to short, and he's grounded to third. Out in front, pulled a string on him.
Well, they try to protect Victor Martinez by playing him at first sometimes, occasionally DHing him, but not all that often. But they want to give him a break from behind the plate. And you can understand that because catchers take a tremendous beating, and he's one of their big hitters.
And by playing first base most of the time, would he be even probably bigger? It's one thing about it. Not so bad the first 3, maybe 4 months, but when you get to August and September,
you're dragging.
Yes.
Well,
and a lot of those fastballs that you were barreling up in April, May, June, and July, you're fouling back or swinging and missing.
Well, we've had a most unusually cool spring and into summer. So it should keep the boys pretty well in shape.
Yes, it would. You would think that. I know here it is on July 7th.
And the Jackets are still in attendance?
On my back, on Aris's back, and we got the heater on down below our feet. Come on. July 7th never happened. Never has happened before on July 7th here. Have the heater on. That's up high.
Well, we had about the 4 coolest days that we've ever seen in July in Kansas City. Just kind of carried over here.
I played there. I've been going there since 1963. 46 years. Never seen anything like that in July in Kansas City.
It was amazing. The weather was sensational temperature-wise, and we literally played 4 games right around the rain because it either rained before the game and then stopped, or rained after the game just after we stopped. And it was like that for 4 days. We didn't even have an interruption, and yet it rained every day.
Three-two changeup popped up. 2 down.
And here's the guy you'd like to see one time. Squib one off the end of the bat, pop it up.
No, his downtime with his swing, his downtimes as he gets a little more experience are going to be shorter and shorter and shorter.
Well, they're not too long right now as he comes in hitting over 300.
Pretty good pitch. Ball went across the plate high enough for a strike. And the count 2-0. Those good short strokes like Chu has. There's a strike.
What's amazing, because he's a lot like Rick Ankiel in that he started out to be a terrific pitcher.
That ball hit hard. Deep. And it is 3-1. So he has hammered it 3 times. A line drive right to Jermaine, a double, and scored a run in the 4th. And a long home run here in the 6th.
This ball is up and out over the plate. That's a Ford home run replay. Brian Anderson gives it the courtesy trot, but no chance.
Notice how he keeps his hands in front of him on his finish. That is conducive to having a good, strong, short, quick stroke.
13 and 54 on the power numbers for Chu.
So off the ground's down, and that'll retire the side, but not before a long home run by Chu, and we trail it by 2.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
First pitch to Scotty Potts, taken up high. 3-7-0 for the Indians. Just one run. That homer by Konerko in the second. Just 3 hits, no errors for our Sox.
Third time through will be the charm for the Sox, because that's been the history on Sowers this year. And he has had a decent game. It's usually the third time through where his opposition starts to get at him. And with the top of the order, let's see if they can make it hold up.
Two balls and a strike to Pods, who has bounced back to him on an attempted bunt and then singles softly in the third. 2-2. Just got a piece of it.
Talked to Scotty Pods about that particular play where it could have been construed as a bunt with 2 strikes in Kansas City, and he said the umpire explained to him if he was down on the end of the bat and didn't shorten up at all, it was construed as a swing. If you shorten up, they would call it a bunt and you'd be out.
Peralta playing him perfectly. 1 out.
First 25,000 fans in attendance at each home game will receive a Dick's Sporting Goods game card redeemable for $10 off your purchase of $50 or more.
Well, that's good to know.
Well, he said as long as he stays down where it looks like it's a swing, even if he's just trying to tap the ball, at least that particular set of umpires are going to call it a swing.
Well, they had a conference about it.
Yep.
As Alexei takes outside ball 1. And on the other side of the page, I have never seen anybody who tried to bunt all the way down on
the barrel. No.
Never. That ball's go. Get by him. It will. So Alexei will pull in second. That is his 9th two-bagger.
Aaron Paredes throwing in the bullpen for the Sox, and no activity to this point in the bullpen for the Indians, as Ramirez gets what looked like might have been either a turned over fastball, but most likely some sort of changeup, and drives it into the alley. Hit it hard enough where Sizemore couldn't cut it off.
He just crushed that ball. So here's Jermaine. 0 for 2. He's fouled out and called out on what he thought was a bad pitch. Carroll hanging around second. Katie takes ball 1. That ball hit hard, base hit. Alexei had to hold up. So now, runners at the corners, 1 out, and that'll bring up Tomey.
Good base running by Alexei, because you can't run into a play that the third baseman has a chance to cut off. And from second base, you can't really read if he's going to be able to make the play. So you have runners at the corners, only 1 out. And the Sox trying to climb back into this one the 3rd time through the order.
And Tomey has had 2 tough at-bats in this game against Sowers. A little swinging tapper down the right side that he threw him out on, and then he struck out swinging. Foul tip fastball into the glove of Martinez.
Well, a big advantage this time is they can't play the radical shift. Carroll is in on the dirt at second base, and Cabrera is on the first base side of second, but he's also on the dirt. So nobody in the outfield on the right side.
Outfield spread out, swung around to the left as he checks it up and takes low ball 1. Coming into tonight, Jimmy was 6 for 11 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs off Sowers.
And Eric Wedge knows that Sowers has some problems third time through. He's got that bullpen up and going, and he's got him going in a hurry.
Checks it up, fouls it off. So the count could have been 2-0. It is now 1-1.
Chris Perez, wired from St. Louis. We were there to see his Indian debut. He hit Ramirez in the head and hit Dye in the hand. Gave up 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning. June 29th, Perez just came over, threw a slider, and he hit Ramirez in the head. He had to leave the game. And that one got the hand of Jermaine, and fortunately, nothing was broken.
Back-to-back hitters. Jimmy, a little out of sorts tonight. Looks like he's looking in. And the count 2-2. Short and quick, big man. And a full count. Paulie on deck. Ball 4 base hit. Ball 4, that will load him up.
Question for Eric Wedge is, do you stay with Sowers, who seems to be losing it rapidly, or do you go with Perez? And I think it's going to be answered, because I think that Wedge might have given a signal for Martinez to go out and talk with Sowers, which gives Perez probably about 10 more pitches to loosen up in the bullpen. And if in fact he is going to depart, and it appears that he is, they bought him another 10 pitches.
So Wedge has made the call to the pen. Chris Perez coming over from the Cardinals. Barbarossa, he'll be coming on, and we'll be back.
game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games a week live on your computer. For more details, visit WhiteSox.com, where baseball is always on. And so Chris Perez comes in his 2 starts, or 2 relief appearances with the Indians. An inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, a 21.60 ERA. National League, his ERA was 4.18. There you look at Sowers. His night is done, but he's responsible for the bases being loaded.
And 1 out, and here's Paulie, who is 1 for 2. Breaking ball way outside.
We didn't see Perez with much control when we saw him in Cleveland. He does top out at 95 miles an hour. That part of it's good.
So outside of Paulie's home run in the second, this is the first chance that we have had. And the count 2-0. Don't help him out.
Perez sets up on the extreme first base side of the rubber. Every pitcher has a different reason for where he sets up on the mound. Some guys like to throw from the first base side because they think they've got a better look at the outside corner. Others will go from the third base side because they think that slider looks a lot better from there.
That ball hit high and deep to left field. He goes back at the track, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yeah. Hell yeah. Grand slam for Konerko. And the Sox lead it 5-3.
All 5 runs driven in by Konerko, 15 and 55 on the power numbers. And Perez just trying to get a fastball over the plate at 2-0, sees it sail out of the ballpark.
AJ swinging at first pitch, pops it up left side. Peralta's there, and that's out number 2.
A Ford home run replay. A dangerous 2-0 fastball. Winds up out of the ballpark. Jeremy Sowers will not beat the Sox tonight. He never has in his career. And he's the pitcher of record to this point. A towering home run.
One and 0 the count to Jason, who is 0 for 2. Checks it up and takes a strike. Five, 6-0 for our Sox. 3, 7-0 for the Indians.
Fans here calling for a curtain call, and there it is. 2 home runs, all 5 runs batted in. Personally responsible for this 5-3 lead. A big night for Paulie.
And the count evens at 2 to Jason Nix. Turned out turned out to be a real good at bat for Tomey with that walk.
I think personally it turned the game around. I mean, if that's not a pick to click walk, then I don't know what is.
Good eye. Not Charlie Wilson, it's Charlie Miller. I'll start calling you Miller. And there's a base hit. Pretty good pitch right there by Perez, and good job by Jason just to serve it out there into center field.
A lot of people are under the misunderstanding that it's mistakes that get hit. This is a slider low and away, probably off the plate. And good plate coverage by Jason as he just reaches out, puts the bat on the ball, and good things happen.
Well, he hit the ball very hard his first time up into that double play, and then he got sawed off. Looked like he was trying to do too much when he looped that little ball down to Peralta third, and then the first couple of swings here. Couldn't check it up on the 2-0 slider. Swung at a bad fastball up and in, so it looked like he was trying to do a little too much in there. It looked like he just settled in and said, I'm just going to make a little contact.
That's all he had to do because he fought off a really tough pitch. Nick's 4 for 4 in stolen bases, and here's a nice opportunity for one.
That ball hit hard by Beckham into right center field. Sizemore back. It's off the wall. So they're going to wave Nix around. He's going to score on the double by Gordon Beckham. And it is a 6-3 lead.
Chris Perez can probably be excused if he never wants to see much more of the White Sox, because the 2 times he pitched against them, he's had a total of 1 inning pitched and given up 6 earned runs, including a couple here tonight. Beckham crushes that ball into right center field. Drives in his 17th run.
Gordon Beckham on a consistent basis has got the best finish of any of our hitters. That's what's going to bode well for him in the future. He's got his own style at the plate, his own swing. But he's got a terrific, he finishes the swing off as well, if not better than anybody on our club. Keeps his hands in front of his chest.
Well, if you can drive the ball the other way as he can, eventually you're going to see pitches inside, and those are the ones that'll go out of the ballpark. So he not only hits it to right field, but he drives it to right field.
That's how you drive a ball to right field, with a high finish. You finish low, you cannot drive it. What you can do is you can slice it out there. As Brian strikes out, but a big crooked number goes up on that board. A grand slam homer by Paul Konerko, an RBI double by Beckham. It is 6-3 Sox.
setting with outdoor balconies and a private seating area for your group. Buffets are available. Book a terrace suite today. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. So Mark Burley, for the first time tonight, has a lead to work with.
Well, he goes from 2 down to 3 up. And he'll have Hafner, Garko, and Carroll. Hafner, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Big curveball taken for a strike. And the count 0-2.
Indians signed Hafner to a very expensive long-term contract, and he's had nothing but injuries since he signed it. So this was one of the guys they counted on to come back, have a big year this year, but once again, he's come up a little lame.
He gone. Second strikeout for Burley.
A curveball and 2 cutters, and it's bye-bye Travis. Matt Thornton loosening into pen. Octavio Dotel right along with him. And a fine bullpen coach, Juan Nieves, talking him.
One of the guys that's been under the radar this year for us, Juan Nieves. Done a terrific job as that's chopped foul down the third baseline.
You want to get those guys ready. You want them to get ready with a positive attitude when they come in. You want to let them know when to back off a little bit, when you need to get ready in a hurry because of this particular matchup, maybe the third hitter of the inning. And Juan is charged with doing all of that, and that's what a bullpen coach does.
Well, that's why Art Kushner was such a good bullpen coach. Is there's a strike and count 1-2. When you're going to come in with a man on first and third, or the bases loaded, and you're going to be facing, as that's out of play, stay with it. Couldn't quite get there, and the count hangs at 1-2. But when you're going to be coming in and facing an Alex Rodriguez, an Albert Pujols, or some of the great hitters in this game, in those situations, you better have had your mind set for you down in that bullpen. Because all of a sudden, when you get out there and you look about 60 feet 6 inches away and you see one of those guys in there, you better be ready for it. As that's another souvenir right side.
Well, it's also a team within a team out there because the bullpen as a group has to work hand in hand to get the ball to Bobby Jenks. I mean, that's the job of the entire bullpen. Get the ball to Bobby Jenks with the lead. And if you can do that, the bullpen's going to be fine.
Nice little quick reaction there on the backup by Beckham.
And that time, Gordon really didn't have a chance to come in and smother the hop. He had to play it on the long hop. We'll watch it again. This is not an easy play. But he knows he's got plenty of time with Garko running. And those are good, quick hands.
He's just playing on athletic ability right now, which he's got plenty of.
He's going to get the footwork down, but it's going to take a while, and he's going to have to run out there. He's going to have to do what he did today before the game. He was out here early, Hawk. They were hitting balls down the line where he could practice his backhand. They were doing that quite a bit. And the same thing with the combination of Ramirez at short and Nix at second. They were going over the double play.
That's out of play.
Our Home Depot doing more on defense, and this was well before anybody got to the ballpark. Joey Cora teaching that short flip. Then he'll get a little longer. Chris Getz is out there, and he's working on Ramirez coming to the bag under control and making a good solid throw. And there's a look at Joey. Then he hits some balls down the line to Beckham at third. I think it was a pretty productive day as far as infield instruction went.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10 right now, where Gordon is, as I said, right now he's playing strictly on athletic ability, in which there, I mentioned, there's plenty there. He gone. 7th inning stretch. It is 6-3 good guys.
Indians, and they start that game at 7-11. For game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. Winston Abreu comes into the game, and the numbers you're going to be looking at are his numbers with Tampa Bay. In a couple of games, and decent numbers, but only 3 2/3 innings as Cleveland tries to do something to improve a much beleaguered bullpen. And Chris Perez has really had a tough time with it as far as the White Sox are concerned. 2/3 of an inning, a couple of runs on 3 hits, 1 strikeout, and he's out of there.
Sox batted around in the 6th. Back to the top of the order here with Scotty Pods, who is 1 for 3. Outfield around to the left, gap out there in right center. One and one to count. Couple of home runs for each team. Grady Sizemore in the 1st. Chu in the 6th. Paul Konerko in the 2nd. Paul Konerko, a grand slam in the 6th.
That was the big home run.
Peralta in on the grass. And that's fouled back over our heads. Make your plans tomorrow night to be with us right here at beautiful US Cellular Field. Jose Contreras against Aaron Laffey. Now, if you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be over WCIU Channel 26. And then on Thursday afternoon, Clayton Richard against David Huff. And that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then after the game on Thursday, it's off to Minneapolis. take on Ron Gardenhire's Twinkies.
Before Abreu got to the major leagues with Tampa Bay this time for a couple of appearances, he last appeared in the major leagues in 2007 with the Washington Nationals.
And there is the dreaded leadoff walk. So good speed aboard. It's 12 for 19 in stolen bases. And it'll bring up Alexei. He started off that 5-run 6th inning for us with that 1-out double. Just ripped it into left center field. It's pretty good lead. A little shorter than his normal giant lead over there.
Well, he hasn't seen the move of Abreu. He's trying to convince him to show him his best move by getting a one-way lead, knowing the only thing he'll do is come back to the bag.
Now Victor doing a little work on that glove. And here we go. Outfield about equidistant. Bit of a gap out there in right center. Looking for it, got it, and underneath it, fouls it back right side. 23,758 in the house. Pod's on point. There he goes. Victor, no chance.
Abreu is very slow to the plate. Pasednik got a tremendous jump, and even with a good throw, you weren't going to nail him. This one was stolen on the pitcher. See that long, slow delivery with his arm? And Pod's off to the races.
Pod's got that little habit of raising that hand off the bag every time he goes in there. And he was called out by Darrell Cousins last week as just waves at that one in the count 1-2. When he takes that hand off the bag, there's just a split second in there that he is not in contact with second base. Now time is called. Jamie Carroll hanging out around second. You got the outfield spread out as I mentioned. Peralta backing off the line at third. Martinez to the outside. And that ball hammered into left field. Francisco looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Yes.
A little more breathing room as Alexei hits his 4th home run against the Indians' lifetime. It's our 4th home run replay. Looked like a high breaking ball that hung there. Home run number 11. He's got 42 runs batted in. This was a line drive that made it out.
So here's Jermaine. He's 1 for 3.
This particular performance by the Indians bullpen is no surprise to anybody associated with this team this year, because they've had all kinds of problems in that pen, and they're doing everything they can to try to get it better on the fly, but it's just not working well.
Two 2-0 the count. And 3-0. 8-9-0 for our Sox. 3-7-0 for their Indians.
Toma Oka listening up in the bullpen. This game isn't near that proportion yet, but I saw Paul Janisch, a shortstop, going to the mound for Cincinnati in that 22-1 drubbing of the Reds. Had a good motion. Gave up a grand slam home run, though.
Good motion, though. Huh?
Good motion. Oh, very good motion.
Man got the hit out on that one.
He actually pulled the ball over the roof, probably bisecting the Sox dugout. You talk about getting out in front of one.
He's got some top hand.
You seen many go over the roof pulled by
First
a right-hand hitter?
No. Here, no.
That's something.
The last time I saw a right-handed hitter go over the roof in the stadium, as there's a breaking ball, was Gary Sheffield. And that was off 101 mile an hour fastball from Bobby Jenks. And the best part about it is at that time, Bobby didn't know what he'd just seen.
What roof did it go over?
Yankee Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Breaking ball, big hack. And that is out number 1. Here's Bobby. Dadgum shame he couldn't have been going to St. Louis along with Jermaine and their teammate Mark Burley. So here's Big Jim. Had a big walk last inning. That loaded him up for Canerco. It makes the cheese a little more binding when you got them loaded. With 1 out, then man on first and second and 2 out.
No doubt about it. And Jimmy laid off the one pitch that he's had trouble with is that high fastball. He laid off it. Ball 4, loaded him up. And we know the rest.
A 2-0 fastball, and Paulie took it out of here. As there's a souvenir over the Sox dugout. Well, very seldom you're going to see a right-handed hitter go over the third base dugout with a foul ball and take it out over the roof.
Well, I can't remember seeing anything, and that wasn't a foul ball. I mean, that ball was actually hit hard and pulled that drastically.
Well, it's got to be hit hard to get over out of the ballpark. Be into the LG Skyline Club seats. So the count hangs at 0-2.
almost 24,000 here tonight.
Looks like there's more.
Feels like there's more.
Yeah.
And they certainly have made enough noise the last couple of innings for more.
Good check in the count 1-2.
This is as cool a night as you're going to find, I believe, here in the second week of July.
Winston Abreu. Now sets. Big Jim ready for the 1-2. Lays off up at high. There's a shot base hit. Nice piece of hitting right there. Nice and easy on that. And a big round of applause for Paulie. And if you missed, back in the second and last inning, poof.
Looked like Sowers tried to get inside on a fastball. That didn't do real well. And then Chris Perez threw a fastball on the outside corner, and that didn't do real well. 2 home runs, 5 driven in.
Have a big night, 14. Breaking ball, a good one. Even though it was inside corner, it was digging, it was not rolling. Another one. And the count of 0-2. Two digging curveballs from Abreu. The inning started with a walk. Scotty Pines, he stole second, and then the 2-run homer on a hanger. Out in front of that one, down by Jeff Cox. The Svelte, Jeff Cox.
He won his bet. He lost 20 pounds in a month.
That's hard to do. He did it.
Without cutting off your big toe, yes.
You're stepping on your own feet.
But now, he says that because he has won the bet and with cash in hand, he ate a couple of Big Macs today.
That's up high. A ball and 2 strikes to Paulie with Pierzynski on deck. Good check on that one.
26 seconds between pitches for Abreu. He has to take a walk around the mound. Apparently he's taking his cues from the disabled Rafael Betancourt.
Outfield straight up. That ball hit hard into left field stretch. Get up. Francisco looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Hell yes. 3 home runs for Konerko. And the Sox lead at 10-3. Mercy.
Well, Paul's got a shot at winning Player of the Week in one game. And just as a sense of irony, our Aflac trivia question was about the one Sox player who's hit 3 home runs in a game twice. That was Harold Baines. And now Abreu will depart, as Eric Wedge wants to see this game end sometime tonight.
All right. He'll be back. Oh, I love it.
Replay. This off of Abreu on a hanging curveball. So Paulie's had a solo home run, a 2-run shot, a grand slam home run, and if he can get up one more time and hit a 3-run homer, he will have homered for this cycle. Carrasco and Pareda high-fiving one another. And this is a 7-run lead. Another curtain call for Paul. What a big night for him.
$16 homers, 57 knocked in, and here's AJ. He's 1 for 3.
He faces Tomo Oka. Oka's 6-point ERA. His 6th appearance, 3 of them starts.
That ball into center field. Sizemore is there, makes the catch for out number 2. Ten, 11-0 for our Sox, 3-7-0 for their Indians. And here's Jason Nix. Jason singled and scored last inning. He's 1 for 3. Two and 0 the count. The 26-year-old all-purpose player. Plays short, second, third, outfield. Can play them all well. 3 balls and a strike.
Gordon Beckham in the on-deck circle.
And a full count. And that's popped up right side. But another big crooked number goes up on that four spot. Third homer of the game by Konerko. He has 3 homers, 7 RBIs. We'll go to the 8th leading by 7.
He's always sartorially resplendent, as is DJ Carrasco, who comes into this one. 2-0, ERA 3.18, on for the 28th time. He inherits a big lead.
In Francisco, has been doing a lot of looking up tonight.
Dwayne Wise takes over in right field from Jermaine Dye.
Come back and get him. 3-0 the count. There's one. And that is Souvenir. Detroit beats Kansas City 8-5.
I'm surprised they did a little damage to Verlander, but at the end of the day, you have to like the Detroit matchup of Verlander against Chen. And as it turned out, Detroit won the game.
And there's ball 4. So Francisco has 1 single, 2 walks, albeit he was caught stealing back in the 3rd.
Aaron Pareto, who's loosened up a couple of times, is going to loosen up again.
As Drupal Cabrera, he is 0 for 3 tonight. He is grounded to second, line to center. There's a strike, and hit into a 5-4-3 double play. One and two. 23-year-old switch hitting infielder.
And now full-time shortstop for these Indians.
Breaking ball low. Collie playing way behind Francisco.
That ball went into the LG Skyline Club, but bounced right back out.
Nix, nice feed. Can't quite get him. Good try right there. Beautiful play by Jason Nix.
Cabrera just a step too quick. Nix does a nice job of getting the force at second. And a good return throw, but not in time.
It's hard to make a real solid feed like Nix did right there when that ball's hit deep. And it is 10-5. Second home run by Sizemore. So in essence, the leadoff walk comes around, and even though it was a fielder's choice, and bites DJ.
And that's going to be it, I do believe, for Carrasco.
All right, so Carrasco departs. Pareda comes on, and we'll be back. From this game, plus Chris Bowden checks in at the Blackhawks Prospects Camp. So join Pat Boyle and Kip Lewis for Sports Night presented by Dex tonight after Sox postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Aaron Pareda comes into the game at 1-0, no ERA, on for the 7th time. He's thrown a total of 6 innings, and he's thrown them very well. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and he looks at one of the better hitters in the game, Victor Martinez.
Victor takes it high and wide. He is 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a pop-up. First of a brief 3-game set. First of a brief 3-game homestand. That's into left field. That's a can of corn for Scotty Pives. And that's out number 2.
Mark Burley went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs on 7 hits. He walked 1. He fanned 3. And he is a pitcher of record, along with Jeremy Sowers.
So here's Chu. Hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight. Once a line drive to Jermaine Dye. Ball like it may have knuckled on him a little bit. May make a nice catch. Then he hit a hard double and scored. Then he hit a hard home run. Checks it up. And the count 2-0. There's the strike. 10-11-0 for the Sox, 5-8-0 for the Indians. Three and one.
Well, this is one sure way to make sure he doesn't hit the ball hard.
And that's ball 4. So the second walk of the inning. First one issued by Pareda, and that'll bring up Peralta. Johnny doubled over the head of Brian Anderson, leading off the second, but did not score. He also has fouled out to AJ and grounded to Beckham. There's the strike. And in case you did not hear, Sox made a deal today. They acquired right-handed pitcher Tony Pena from the D-backs in exchange for minor league infielder Brandon Allen. Yeah, that Steve and I talked quite a bit about in spring training. Pena, 27 years old, is 5-3 with a 4.24 ERA. He has 1 save in 37 relief appearances with the D-backs in 09. He leads that club in holes with 8 and ranks second in game pitch. He's 6'2", 220 pounds. And that ball gets away. So the count 1-2.
Probably going to be a wild pitch. And it is a wild pitch. Has to throw that slider. And that bounces well in front of AJ. And goes on by him.
Breaking ball way wide and high, and the count 2-2.
Set line break loosening up in the bullpen in case Pareda has some problems getting the ball over the plate.
Travis Hafner on deck. So after getting ahead of Peralta, it is now full. And the payoff pitch. Ate him up, broke his bat. Peg over to first, and that'll retire the side. But the 2-run homer by Grady Sizemore will go to the bottom of the 8th, leading 10-5. post-game remarks. Don't miss U.S. Cellular White Sox post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Gordon Beckham will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th. Sox up by 5. Gordon has walked. He has popped up the center, and he has doubled off the right center field fence. Now he's going to pop up to Garco. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. So here's Brian Anderson. Brian 0 for 3 this evening. There's a chopper 2 hopper. Cabrera.
7-game flex plans let you select the games of your choice in July, August, and September. And it's a great way to guarantee tickets to matchups against the Red Sox, Yankees, and Tigers. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com to purchase your plan today.
So here's Scotty Pods. He's been on base twice. He has a stolen base and a run scored. He's 1 for 3. Tomooka, first pitch strike to Pods. Jose Contreras tomorrow night against Aaron Laffey. Make your plans to be with us. Game 2 of this 3-game homestand. If you can't make it, that game will be over WCIU Channel 26. On Thursday afternoon, Clayton Richard against David Huff. If you can't make it to the ballpark, that game right back here on Comcast Sportsnet. Then it's off to Minnesota after the game on Thursday for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games as he gets him. And we will go to the 9th. It is 10-5 good guys. Carlos Quentin 0 for 3 with a walk, but he's 4 for 8 in the 3 games.
As long as he's running well, the rest of it's irrelevant.
Immaterial, right. And, of course, Birmingham, they won 3-0. Dan Hudson And Jordan Danks, it's good to see Jordan back from that injury. But right here, first pitch strike to Travis Hafner. Hafner's 1 for 3 with an RBI back in the 4th inning. Cleveland with 1 in the first. Sox tied at 1 in the second. Cleveland took a 2-1 lead in the 4th, 3-1 lead in the 6th, top of the 6th, and in the bottom of the 6th, Sox came with a 5 spot. Sox added a 4 spot in the 7th, and Cleveland 2 here in the past inning, top of the 8th. So it's 10-5, top of the 9th.
This is more like we're accustomed to seeing this ball club in this park. Well, so far this year, Sox haven't taken advantage of one of the best offensive parks in the major leagues. It's right here at U.S. Cellular.
One and two. That's laced into left field for the base hit.
It's like Bobby Jenks loosening up in the bullpen. I don't think Ozzie wants to take too many chances with this one. This Cleveland team, although they don't have a great tail end of the starting rotation or a real good front end of their bullpen, they do have some thunder in that lineup.
Garco. He's 1 for 3. That's chopped down, and the count 0-2. Garco looped out to second, single to left, and hit a tough grounder down to third that Beckham backed up real quickly. Good recognition on his part. Made a nice play to get him. Softly hit. Get over there. Aaron Will right where he should be. And that is out number 1. In that Minnesota Yankee game in the Bronx, top of the 7th inning, Yankees leading 10-1.
Now, I like their chances to begin with CC going in that one, and the Yankees are starting to heat it up offensively. They're going to be putting a whole lot of pressure on those Red Sox.
And here is Jamie Carroll. We're going to put a new little element into the game tonight that went unnoticed back in the 6th inning. At the bottom of the 6th, the top of the inning. We're going to call it the Comcast Sportsnet good call of the game. And that ball's by Beckham. So they're going to wave Hafner around as the ball goes back into second base. He will score, and it's a 10-6 ball game.
This was just a one-hop rocket by Carroll, who drives in just his 9th run of the year. And it eats up Beckham. Winds up in left field.
So here's Ben Francisco. He's reached base all 3 times. A single in the 3rd, a walk in the 5th, a walk last inning. And there's a strike. But our Comcast Sportsnet, good call of the game, because in the top half of the bottom of the 6th, my partner said this is going to be a good inning. As there's a little flare caught, and they can't double him up. Nice job by Nix. He can cover a little ground out there.
Well, he's covered it on the third base side of second and now almost down the line in right field. Outstanding effort by Nix. It almost turns it into a double play.
But my partner on our good call of the game said this is going to be a good half inning. Third time around facing Jeremy Sowers, and all they did was score 5 runs. Our Comcast Sportsnet good call of the game goes to Charlie.
Thank you.
Big swing and a miss by Cabrera, who was 0 for 4. And the count 0-2. He gone, and this ball game is over. So, first of this 3-game set against Cleveland. Sox come in at 42-40. Mark Burley